bright future. Every student matters.
Hi students, welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to talk about the hormones other than the sex hormones. We've already studied about the sex hormones that are released by the testis and ovary, and we've seen that in testis the male hormone is released and in the ovary female hormone is released. But we've also seen that both of the testis and ovary are under the control of a master gland called as the pituitary. In this session, we are going to talk about other hormones which are present in our body and influence different organs in our body, and how do they do so. So, when we are talking about different organs, different glands that are present inside a body, the very first gland that we are going to talk about is the pituitary gland, which is also called as the master gland, right? Why is it also called as the master gland? Because it is the gland it is the gland in which the hormones which are released control all the other the function of all the other glands. This is located, or this is attached to the brain. As you can see the location, where is it? It is in the area in the brain, that is, it is attached to the brain. Now you can see with the help of the location itself that how important this particular gland is, right? So this is your master gland. So apart from pituitary gland, testis and ovary, there are other kinds of endocrine glands as well. These are the thyroid gland, the adrenal gland, pancreas, and obviously we've already talked about testis and ovary. Now in this image, the position of ovary and testis both are indicated, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to talk about all of these glands, and we are going to see their secretion and understand the importance one by one. We are also going to observe that how the pituitary gland is able to control all the other glands and their secretion, right? So now, first of all, let's talk about the thyroid gland. Now the thyroid gland is located in the thyroid gland is located in the neck region, right? The location is in the neck region. Now why I have shown you this image is because that you must have seen many people with the bulging throats, right? The throats like this. Now this particular problem, this is called as the goiter, right? Now what is goiter exactly? Goiter is when the secretion of the thyroid gland is not enough. As in the case of testis and ovary, we saw that the hormone that they released were the sex hormones. In the same way, the thyroid gland releases thyroxine, right? So the thyroxine is the hormone that is released by the thyroid gland. Now the goiter, the disease that we have shown over here, is because of this is caused because of no production, when there is no production of thyroid gland, no production of thyroxine in the body, right? Thyroxine in the body of the human beings. So the thyroid gland is present in the neck, and when this gland is not able to produce thyroxine, then we see the disease, that is goiter, in the case of even the children, in the case of your adults as well. Now thyroxine is formed because of the presence of iodine, right? You must have seen that many a times people are suggesting to eat salt that is rich in iodine. Why is that the case? Because thyroxine is formed because of the presence of iodine. That is, iodine is one of the major important components of thyroxine. If the iodine is not present in the optimum amount in the body, what will happen? The production of thyroxine will not take place, and in this case, what will happen when the production of thyroxine will not happen? Goiter results in the goiter, right? So this is the importance of your thyroid gland. Then the other gland that we are going to talk about is the pancreas. So this is the pancreas. Now this also is a very important organ. The hormone that it releases is insulin and glucagon. You must have heard about insulin. It's quite a common name nowadays because it is a hormone which controls the sugar in the body. Now, you must have heard about a particular disease called as diabetes, right? All of you must be aware of this disease where the patient needs to avoid the consumption of sugar. This disease occurs because of low production low production of insulin by pancreas. So what exactly happens? What is the function of insulin? Let's understand that. So whenever there is an increase in the amount of sugar in the body, the pancreas releases insulin. What insulin does is that it converts the sugar into the glycogen, and the glycogen gets stored inside the body. Whenever there is a need, the glucagon will convert the glycogen in the sugar, and it is utilized by the body. In the absence of insulin, what happens is the amount of sugar keeps on accumulating, or rather I should say it keeps on increasing in the body, causing the disease diabetes, right? So this is the function of insulin, and if the pancreas is not working properly, this is the problem that might occur, right? So this is again, pancreas again is a endocrine gland. Apart from the function of production of insulin and glucagon, we've also seen that pancreas has a function in the digestive system as well, right? So this is a gland which is quite important in both the endocrine system as well as in the digestive system. Then there is another important gland called as the adrenal gland. Now, as you can see, this adrenal gland is located above the kidney. So what is this? This is the kidney, and the adrenal gland is present above the kidney. So adrenal gland is the gland which releases the hormone which maintain the correct salt balance of the body, right? Correct salt balance in the body. Apart from this hormone apart from this hormone which maintains the correct salt balance, there is another hormone which is released by the adrenal gland, and that is adrenaline. Now you must have heard about this particular term as well. Adrenaline is a hormone which is very important in the case of emergencies. It is also called as the emergency hormone. What is the function of adrenaline? Let's understand. Whenever the body is under the stress situation, the stress can be in the form of excitement, it can be in the form of say danger, right? Or it can be when a person is embarrassed, right? All of these situations are the stress situation in human beings. Whenever the body is in stress situation, the adrenal gland releases the hormone adrenaline, and this hormone helps the body to get adjusted to the stress situation, right? Now what happens is that adrenaline gland will in the case of say danger, where you have to fight away, where you have to run away from a dog, what happens, the adrenaline gland pumps more and more glucose in the body, which gives you enough energy so that you can run away from the dog, right? So this is the hormone which helps it helps to cope with the stress situation. What are these stress situation? When a person is angry, embarrassed, or worried, right? So all of these are the situations where the adrenaline hormone is released and the body is prepared for this particular situation, right? Now, when we are talking about these hormones and the glands, we said that the pituitary was acting as the master gland. Why did we say so? Because the all the hormones that are released by the pituitary gland are functioning upon the adrenal gland, upon the pancreas, and on the different glands in the body, and they cause the secretion of all the hormones associated with these glands. Apart from that, pituitary gland also releases growth hormones. Now, this growth hormone is the one which causes the increase in the height in human beings, right? So, pituitary gland, apart from releasing the other hormones which control glands, is also releasing growth hormone, right? So, this growth hormone causes the increase in the height of the person. Now, the growth hormone is released from a certain age to a certain age, because when your height stops increasing, that is the time when the growth hormone is stopped. The pituitary has stopped releasing the growth hormone, and thus the increase of height doesn't take place, right? If the growth hormone keeps on, if there is some problem in the pituitary gland and there is growth release of growth hormone that keeps on happening, then we see there are different kinds of problems that occur, and increase in the height is so much that people actually go beyond 8 feet or 9 feet. These are the people you must have also heard about in the Guinness Book of World Records. Then, if there is low release of the growth hormone, then what will happen? The person will not be able to attain its proper height, right? So, in this way, we see how the different hormones that are present in the body, apart from the sex hormone, that affect the growth and the development of the body in different ways, right? So in this way we see how the importance of in this way we see the importance of different types of glands present in the body and their hormones. In this session we are going to talk about the reproductive health. Now, we've already talked about that what are the different changes that are going to occur in the body of an organism of the human beings from the age of 11 to the age of 19, where the person is becoming mature, and it's becoming, he or she is becoming more and more reproductively active, right? And the maturation of reproductive organ is taking place. Apart from that, the growth also takes place during the adolescent year. During this age, it is very, very important to maintain a healthy lifestyle, to maintain the health. Now, it is important to understand that what exactly do we mean by the health. So, the physical and mental well-being. So, if we have to define health, we will define it as the physical and the mental well-being of a person, right? When a person is able to feel, able to perform all the day-to-day function quite easily, that is said to be that person is said to be in a good physical state. When we are saying mental well-being, that means a person feels happy and motivated and is satisfied with the day-to-day life, does not have any kind of stress. That person is said to have a good mental health. So both of these aspects are very important, and if a person has both these well-being, then only a person is said to be healthy. If it is not so, in that case the person is said to be unhealthy, right? So it is important that every person should be able to keep a healthy body and mind at any age, right? Because it's very, very important for a person to maintain the physical and mental health to survive. But during these growing years, it is more important, because if health is not maintained during these growing years, the adulthood and the rest of the life might get affected because of that. Whenever we are talking about the health of an individual, one of the things which plays a very, very important role is the balanced diet, right? So what kind of food a person is eating, whether the food is balanced or not, is one of the most important aspects in maintenance of health, because food directly affects our physical well-being. right? It is important to also observe personal hygiene and take adequate physical exercise to maintain a good health, right? Personal hygiene is also very important because it will help in not communicating any kind of disease, right? And then physical health will keep the body active. So all of these aspects are important in maintaining good health. Why we are discussing again, to remind you that why we need to discuss this particular aspect, that is your food, your mental health and your physical well-being, because during the adolescence age maximum growth of body and mind is taking place. A person needs to adolescent need to take care of all these things to become into a healthy and a successful adult. The very first thing that we are going to talk about is the nutritional needs of adolescents. It is very important to understand that what exactly is happening in the bodies of the adolescents. This is the growth, it is the stage of rapid growth and development, right? During this stage, the height is increasing, rapid stage of rapid growth and development, right? During this stage, like I said, the height is increasing. We have seen that how the body shape of girls and boys change. We've also seen this is the age during which the puberty is attained. This is the age during which the development of your secondary sexual characters occur. So nutritional needs of the adolescents also are very important during the adolescent phase, because like I said, this is the stage of rapid growth and development. That is why proper diet, and when I say proper diet, I mean balanced diet, right? Balanced diet is very important in this stage, because at this stage body needs all the nutrients. We know that there are various nutrients that help in the growth of body in various ways. Like we have carbohydrates, we have protein, we have vitamins, minerals, roughage. All of these things are important for our growth, right? So when we are saying a balanced diet, what does it include? It includes carbohydrates, right? It includes protein, includes vitamins, minerals, right? And fat. So when we are talking about these nutrients, we say that balanced diet is the kind of diet where all of these nutrients are present in the optimum amount. Nothing of these, carbohydrate shouldn't be more, protein shouldn't be more. Then in the case, vitamins shouldn't exceed a proper optimum amount. So anything less or anything more might harm the body. That is why when we say balanced diet, it means optimum amount of all the nutrients. Like in this case, you can see the depiction. This is carbohydrate, then you have protein, then you have your fat, you have vitamins and minerals, then you have the vitamins over here, you have mineral like calcium. So all of these play a very important role in the development of the body, right? So we have seen that the Indian meals that we eat, that is your dal, you eat chapati and rice and vegetables. This food, this Indian meal is actually a balanced diet which has the correct proportion of carbohydrate, fat, minerals, vitamins, and your protein. Right, so the Indian food is quite it's a very good balanced diet. If a person is consuming it every day, then that person is said to have a balanced diet. Another very important aspect is, or another very important food that we need to talk about is the milk. Now, milk is considered as the complete food because it has all the nutrients that are required by the body. Milk is in itself considered as a balanced food, right? Why is it called as the balanced food? Because it contains all the important nutrients that are needed by the body, right? when we are talking about milk for infants, the baby which is born, mother's milk is the complete food. A baby for up to an year or up to a year or two doesn't need any kind of food. Mother's milk has all the nutrients that are required by the baby. It provides not only with nourishment but also with immunity, right? So again, milk is a very very important part of the food that we are eating. Then apart from milk, we have fruits which provide nourishment. Fruits are able to provide us with a lot of minerals and vitamins, right? Then apart from that, you have iron, right? Iron is again an important mineral which helps us in building the blood. It helps in forming the blood. The iron rich food that we eat are the leafy vegetables, right? So leafy vegetables, green leafy vegetables are very very important to obtain the it is very important to obtain iron. So what are these? Apart from the leafy vegetables, we have jaggery, meat, Indian berry. All of these are rich in iron and should be included in the food of the adolescents, right? So this shows that how is it important for the adolescent to have a proper balanced diet. Now, what you can do is you can check your food items, or you can make a list of the food that you eat from morning till the dinner, and you can see that whether all the food that you are eating contains all these nutrients. You can see whether the food that you are eating consists of fruits which are acting as the protective food. Basically, when we say protective food, these are the vitamins and minerals which help us in building immunity. They protect us from any kind of disease, right? So consider your daily routine and check whether the food that you are eating is rich in all of these nutrients. Apart from that, you can also see that what kind of junk food that you eating. Junk food includes food material like chips and packed food like your packed or tinned food like your biscuits, right? Although these things are quite tasty, you might enjoy the taste of all these things, but these are not healthy, and you can eat it as a snack, right? In 2-3 days one time you might eat it, but you should not replace it. Is suppose if you're feeling hungry, it is better to eat a fruit rather than eating a packet of chips or biscuit, right? So it is very important to maintain a proper balanced diet. Now, let's perform an activity where you can make a group with your friends and you can write down the food items of your breakfast, lunch, and dinner you had the previous day. And you can identify in those items that what are the things which will help you in proper growth. Usually, the food which contains a lot of protein helps in your growth. The food which contains a lot of carbohydrate provides you with energy, right? Also, you need to identify the junk food that you are consuming. Also, this will help you in understanding the amount of junk food you are consuming, right? So this activity is quite helpful because it will help you in identifying that what exactly is going wrong with the food that you are eating and whether the food that you are eating is beneficial for you, right? Another activity which we are going to do is where you are going to write down, you're going to prepare a chart or a poster, and what you're going to do is you're going to make the students and your friends aware about different kind of food that one must eat, right? What you're going to do is you're like, for example, you can take the pictures like these and you can arrange that what are the different food materials that one should include in the food. You can also write down that what exactly are these food rich in. For example, you can write down that the meat is rich in protein and whatever other nutrients that are present. Similarly, in fruits, what kind of vitamins are present. In grains, again, you can write down that the grains are rich in proteins, right? So you can, in this way, you can make a chart with the help of your friends and teacher, and you will be able to understand that what kind of food should you eat if there is any kind of deficiency, right? Now this is all about the kind of food that one eats. Next is maintaining personal hygiene. Personal hygiene is a very important aspect not only for adolescents but for everyone. But we are specifically talking about adolescent over here because we've seen that during these adolescent phase, the activity of the sebaceous gland and the sweat gland increases. That means adolescent sweats more. The adolescent has a lot of oil that is being secreted from the body. That is why one should at least take bath. It should take bath at least once, right? It is preferred to take bath 2 times, but you should take bath once every day. Apart from that, it is necessary, so that why is it necessary to clean your body? Because of the increased activity of the sweat gland and the sebaceous gland. If you are not cleaning your body regularly, you might have problems, like acne is one of the major problems which occurs. If you're keeping your body clean, this might also reduce the problems of pimple and acne, right? Apart from that, this also prevents any kind of bacterial or fungal one might contract. In the case of girls, it is important to maintain a proper hygiene when you are during your menstruation cycle. When a girl should take proper care of the hygiene, they should use, first of all, they should keep the track of their menstrual cycle, and they should be prepared for it. Apart from that, one should use the sanitary napkin, and if a person is using homemade pads, you should change your pads every 4 to 5 hours. Even the sanitary napkin needs to be changed in the same way, right? So proper health during the proper cleanliness, hygiene during the menstrual cycle should be maintained, because if you're not able to maintain the proper hygiene during this time, you might also suffer from fungal infections, right? So it is very important for a person for girls to maintain such kind of hygiene. Overall, personal hygiene should be maintained during your adolescent period, because like I said, because of the increased activity of the glands, right? Then another aspect that we were talking about were the physical exercises. Physical exercise is quite important because, like I already told you, that there are two aspects of the development. One is the physical development, and other is the mental development that is taking place. Mental development is stimulated by the studies that you're doing, by the information that you're getting. But physical exercises help in increased amount of increased amount of physical activity. It helps in proper growth, right? So a person should always exercise. All the girls and boys should exercise. They should do the activities like aerobics, gymnastics. They should play badminton, they should go cycling, and all of these activities help in your maintaining good health, right? Now, once we have understood about the physical activities, what you can do is you can collect a data on the number of children in your class who exercise and other children who do not exercise regularly. If you will notice, you will find that the children who exercise regularly are more fit, they have a good growth, whereas the people, those who are, or the children, those who are not exercising properly, are not growing properly, right? They are not as fit as the children, those who are exercising. So this will help you in understanding the importance and the benefits of the regular exercise. You can make a report on the base of the data that you have collected, right? Now, another thing which we need to understand in the adolescent phase is that there are a lot of changes that are happening around us. We might feel stress because of certain changes which are quite different and difficult for us to deal with. But understand, this is a period where your body and mind is changing, you are developing, and it will only last up to some time, right? To get you should not feel confused or insecure. And during this period, especially if somebody offers you drugs, somebody offers you alcohol or cigarettes, you should say no to all of these things. Why? Because these things will cause addiction, and during this period, if you get addicted towards these things, what will happen is that your adulthood will also get spoiled, right? So although you might feel insecure, you might feel troubled, but always keep in mind that this phase only lasts for a few years, and this is the phase of development, and everybody goes through this phase, right? So during this phase it is very important to say no to drugs, and you should only take medicines that are prescribed by the doctors. You should not take any kind of medicine without asking the doctor, right? Because wrong medication might lead to problems that might last lifelong, right? So it is very very important to say no to drugs, because they harm your body in the long run. Not only your body but also your mind get addicted to it, and your whole life will get spoiled, right? So please be very careful. If somebody offers you these things, you should say no to it, and you should report this thing to your parents. Always be open with your parents, talk to your friends and your teachers about all of these things. If you're going through any problem, discuss it with the elders. They will help you finding a good solution of it, right? Another very important thing that a person should be aware of is a disease which is known as AIDS. The full form of the disease is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It is caused by a virus called as the HIV, that is human immunodeficiency virus. This virus can easily pass from a normal person for the infect from the from the infected person to a normal person by sharing syringes that are used for injecting drugs, right? So this is another reason why one should not indulge in the drug taking habit. It can also be transmitted from infant to the infected mother through her milk. It can also be transmitted through sexual contact with the person infected with HIV. One should always be aware of this disease. All the precautions that one needs to take should they should know as what they can do to prevent this disease, right? All of these are the precautions that one should take. It is important to be aware of this disease at adolescent age, because during this phase only you are vulnerable to all the changes that are happening in the environment, right? So this is a very dangerous disease, and this disease causes the immune system in our body to get ruined, and a small disease can also be fatal, right? So you'll study about this virus and this disease in your higher classes. As of now, it is important to understand what should be avoided, what precautions should be taken to protect ourselves against the disease. Now, once we've understood about all these things, all that is happening in the body during the adolescent phase, we can actually burst the myths, we can understand the taboos, do's and don'ts in the scientific perspective, we can understand whatever the society is teaching us, whether it is scientifically based, whether we should adopt it or we should not adopt it, right? So, the very first taboo which we generally come across is that a girl becomes pregnant if she looks at boys during menstruation. So, this is not the case. You've already seen that the menstruation cycle is the time when the body is removing the egg and the uterus lining. So, this again is not true. So, this is a myth which needs to be broken. Then a mother is responsible for the sex of her child. This also is something that we saw, and we've studied that it is not the mother, rather it is the father who is responsible for the sex of the child, because father has X and Y chromosomes and mother only has XX chromosome. Then a girl should not be allowed to work in the kitchen during menstruation. This again is a myth, which is it's again a myth and a taboo which is associated with menstrual cycle. Understand that all of these taboos and myths should be discarded, because all of these are not scientifically based. These are just things which people say, and are they do not have any kind of scientific basis. Another very important aspect of adolescence is the adolescent pregnancy. Now, this is something which happens, and in our country, the legal age of marriage is 18 years for girls and 21 years for boys. Why is this age? Because the teenage mothers are not prepared for mentally, are not prepared mentally or physically for motherhood. It's a very very important phase of life. A girl should be should be able to carry the child, and should be able to understand the responsibility of being a mother, right? So this, keeping this in mind, the child marriage has been abolished, and the age of children, age of girls and boys have been raised to 18 and 21 years respectively, so as to avoid the adolescent pregnancy. Early marriage and motherhood causes problem not only to the mother but also to the health of the child, because she is not prepared mentally and physically, and because of that she is not able to carry out all the responsibilities related to the motherhood. Also, it diminishes the chances of the mother of getting any kind of job, any kind of further studies, and thus causing her to become economically dependent, and this also causes a lot of agony to the young mothers, right? So adolescent pregnancy is quite a big problem, was rather quite a big problem when there was child marriage in our society. But now government is making people aware against this kind of this kind of ritual, and definitely there are laws which are important, which are in place to avoid all of these circumstances. So in this way, students, we talked about all the nutritional or the health of adolescents.